Hey guys, happy Wednesday. I just got done listening to a homeschool summit, so I wanted to come share with you guys because I had several big aha moments. I took some notes. These were amazing for like homeschooling, but child rearing in general. So if you don't homeschool, that's fine. This is going to kind of help all areas when it comes to mom life. So if you're a mom, do me a favor and just drop me down the word mom in the comments. And if you're not a mom, but you just tune into my videos, that's okay too. Just drop me down, not a mom, but I don't think you're awful. So hey Janice, hey Samantha, hey Diana. So she was talking about, and again, a lot of this does relate to homeschooling, but a lot of it just relates to child rearing in general. So if you don't homeschool, but you have ever felt like maybe you are, I don't know, overwhelmed, or maybe you're like running around the chicken with your head cut off, like this video is for you. So smash me down some hearts. Mom, mom, mom. Okay, lots of moms on here. That's amazing. That is what I like to see. So this lady that was talking, so this is not like my knowledge and my wisdom, because I am a mom of a 5-year-old, so I still have a lot to learn with everybody else that's on this video. This lady had 7 kids. She homeschooled all of them. They're all graduated and like went on to do great things with their lives. And now she's homeschooling her grandkids. So when she kind of told her story and then started giving just some wisdom, I was like, oh, I got to get a pen and paper. I got to write this down. I got to share this because this stuff is golden. And so many things I took away just like blew my mind. Thank you very much. It is much lighter than, well, it's been lighter for like a couple weeks now. But I did get it done. You can see like lots of blonde and caramel throughout my hair. Okay, I'm going to stop looking at the comments because I get sidetracked and I don't want this to be a super long video. So the first thing that she talked about, she just said, don't let other people's priorities dictate what your priorities and your standards are for your family. And she went on to say, and I love this because so many times we think when people say that statement that they're talking about, like, don't let people lower your standards, basically. Like, don't judge people not low. Don't let people make you feel bad about not having high standards. That is what our generation has kind of taken that statement to mean of, oh, just because she's a super mom, doesn't mean that I should be doing X, Y, Z. And what she said, that is true. So if you, hopefully no one on here, because I think you all follow me because we all kind of think alike. But if you're somebody who doesn't have very high standards with their family, you're going to be answering to God one day, not me. So it's not my place to sit and tell you what to do with your family. And that's something that I have learned the hard way over and over and over. I'm a red personality. I'm a teacher. My instinct is to go in and fix things. And if people don't want it fixed, guess what? That going in and fixing, it doesn't turn out to be a good thing. But she said something. She said, if you have higher priorities than somebody else or higher standards with your priorities, don't let somebody who has lower standards make you feel guilty about what you're doing with your family. You choose what you do with your family and know that you'll stand before God one day to answer for it, and that's it. So I really like that. It's something that I have definitely just recently felt kind of the mean girls of it. Like, yeah, so we're not going to go into that. But anyway, so don't let other people's priorities dictate yours. So I'm going to give you 4 points that she made, 4 things that we as moms do very often that sabotage ourselves, and how to kind of fix those. Like literally, it's just a couple little things to tweak and all the stress goes out of it. So first thing, before I get started, there is a free homeschool summit coming up. It's all online. I attended last year. It was amazing. Again, it's not just homeschooling stuff. There's a lot of really good parenting advice. So if you would like that, get in my inbox. I will send you the link. It's 100% free. There's nothing that you have to buy. I think the summit is free, and then you have like 3 days to catch the replays or something. So it's totally free. And then if you want to buy like the courses, I think there's like $20 for lifetime access or something. I don't ever buy them. I just do the free ones. But It's like amazing material. Those of y'all that just went to Rank Makers Live, it's like that, but focused on parenting. So it's really good. So make sure that you get in my inbox and I'll get you the link sent out. So first thing, if you have ever felt, again, I don't care if you homeschool or don't homeschool. If you have ever felt with your kids like you are a chicken with your head cut off and you're just running around spinning your wheels, drop me down a 1 in the comments. I can honestly say I have been there. I have felt like I just didn't know where I was going and I was just kind of like spinning my wheels like a dang hamster. One of those little wheels that just keeps on going. And by the way, if you're watching the replay, that's fine. I'd love to see who is getting what out of these videos. So drop me down a 1 if you've ever felt like a chicken with your head cut off in your household. So she said the biggest thing that we as women and we as moms do is we don't set our priorities. So I'm going to liken this to homeschooling because that's what spoke to me. She said, what's important to you? And she asked the question, she said, why did you start homeschooling? Because that is what you're going to make a list of reasons why you started homeschooling. So if it's not homeschooling that you're doing, that's fine. Maybe you're looking at it from a business perspective. Write down, why did you start this business? Okay, but again, I'm going to bring it back to homeschooling. So why did you start homeschooling? Now, a lot of times, what do you think the most common reason for homeschooling is? Drop me down some guesses. Like, please, everybody, doesn't matter if you homeschool or not, please drop me down some guesses because I think I know the top one is probably going to be Bible. Bible or religion, like that's usually the top reason that people think people choose homeschooling. And it is for some people. Like, I'm not saying that people don't choose it for that. I'm going to tell you right away, I did not choose to homeschool because of religion or because of wanting my kid to know more Bible. For me personally, I don't look at the school as the place that my kid should be learning Bible. I look at that, like, that should be learned at home. Even if my kid goes to a Christian school or a public school or whatever, like, I'm not sending my kid somewhere to learn Bible. That is on me to teach them. Bullying, okay. So devotions, Bible clubs, Bible reading, like any of that kind of stuff, the way I look at it is that's on me as a parent. That is not on a school or a church to teach my kid. So that was not a reason that we chose to homeschool. We chose to homeschool because I wanted her to have the highest education possible. Guys, I've been in a public school. I taught in a public school. One teacher or even two teachers for 25 to 30 kids is not going to do as good of a job as one teacher for 1, 2, 3, 4 kids. In my case, it's 1. Like, that's just simple math. It's nothing to do with the school systems. I think I know some amazing teachers that do the very best job that they possibly can. But just if you think about it logically, 1 and 1, you're always going to get a better education. Some of y'all know my story. Some of y'all don't. I dropped out of school. The last grade I finished was 7th. However, I've always been book smart. And that is something that I take no credit for, because it's 100% God. When I turned 16, I went and got my GED. 800 is the perfect score. I scored a 780. I got a full ride scholarship to any school in New Mexico that I wanted to go to. I turned it down and went to Bible college instead. Dumb decision, smart decision, I have no idea. But now looking back, I think it was smart because I would have never met my husband, never had my daughter. So I have no regrets whatsoever. But a high education, like I went to college, started college when I was 16. My mom also started college when she was 16. Education is huge in our family. So for me, a high education for my daughter is a priority. And I know a lot of Christians look down on that, and that's okay. But that goes back to, what are your priorities? My priority is to get my daughter a very good education without sacrificing having a consistent walk with God. So I don't care how much, well, I do care. But my whole goal is not to see how many verses she can memorize or, how many times through she can read the Bible in a year. My goal is to get her a relationship with God. And I have seen that blossom in the last 2.5 years. It's been amazing. We started getting real serious about doing daily devotions with her when she turned 3. She just turned 5. So it's been about 2.5 years, or a little over 2 years. And we make sure that she is in a good Bible program, a good Bible class every single year, because kids thrive and again, this is not my words, this is every professional you can talk to, kids thrive on competition. Now, you may disagree with it, that's okay, but I've seen it through and through. Kids that have healthy competition thrive more than kids that kind of lackadaisical can do whatever they want and not be accountable for anything. Okay, she said she chose to homeschool because she had a hard time in public school. I went to public school, I'll be honest, I liked it. But again, I only went through 7th grade. So I heard lots of horror stories when, in high school. So, it is what it is. But for me, education was a big one. Freedom was another big one. Guys, I already work from home. I worked from home before I started homeschooling. I have the freedom to do what I want. I have the freedom to up and go to the beach. I have the freedom to, like this last weekend, we up and went camping for a few days. This weekend, my husband and I are up and going on a getaway real quick. I already have that freedom. So I did not want to be tied down to a school schedule. And then I want her to be able to love learning. Guys, I cringe if I get asked a history or a science question because you only learn so much through 7th grade. In college, I was a music and business major. Like teaching was my major, and then music and business were my fields. I didn't really learn much history. The one history class I did have, and the one science class I did have, all it was reading out of a book, and to be honest, it was pretty boring. I didn't really get much out of it. We plan on either 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, not 100% sure, and we might do it more than once. We're going to go spend 2, 3, 4 weeks in Washington, D.C., and it might be me and my husband, Savannah. I know I talked to you about it. It might be me and Savannah and Janice. I don't know. But we're going to go spend some time and we're going to ingrain ourselves in history. There's going to be several trips that I take like that because I want her to love learning. I don't want her to I do want her to love it. But not just sitting down. Like she just finished her map skills little unit in geography. Yes, that's important. I absolutely think that there should be bookwork involved, but I want her to love learning beyond just sitting inside of a classroom. So those are my 3 priorities. So if you've not done this yet, I would highly recommend sitting down and writing down what are 3 or 4 reasons that you either started homeschooling or started the business, because I know I have a lot of my teammates on here. And this is applicable to both. And figure out what are your priorities. My priorities are for her to get a really good education, for us to have freedom as a family, and that also includes freedom to serve, guys. I want to teach her, I've already been teaching her about giving back. We are so blessed, and just even thinking about the way I grew up versus the way I'm able to let my daughter grew up, which is 100% because of this business, and I'm grateful for that as well. But being able to show her how to give back to other people and that not everyone lives like you. We have run into that a few times, even with just friends that she's met at different clubs and stuff that we've been a part of, that their families don't live in a very nice house. Her friends don't have nice clothes. And so we're always looking for ways to help her learn how to give back. So yes, she's going to grow up pretty spoiled. She just is. That's what we have chosen for our life. But I don't want her to grow up ungrateful. I don't mind kids that grow up having a lot. I feel like if you can work and give your kids, more than they absolutely need, as long as, that comes with a real big responsibility to help them not become entitled brats. I grew up with a lot of kids that had a lot of money, and most of them are entitled adults now. I just turned 30, and I know a lot of 30-year-olds that are very entitled. So that's something that I just really want to hit hard with her on. You can have a really nice life, but your focus should always be on giving back to other people who maybe don't have as nice as things as you do. So that was the first thing, is prioritize. So if you feel like you're running around like a chicken with your head cut off, you probably don't have very clear priorities. I would absolutely sit down and write some things down. Second thing, excuse me, because I apparently cannot read my own writing. Oh, okay. If you feel like you're always going, like you are at the verge of being overwhelmed because you are always doing, you're never at home, you feel like you're always behind, drop me down a 2. If you've ever felt like that. I can absolutely tell you I felt like that. I remember a time early on in our homeschool when I was trying to do play dates every single week and get involved in like library clubs every single week. And I just thought I had to like do all the things. And this is something that she talked about. She said, you don't have to do everything. How many parents do you know that their kids are involved in every single sport possible, but the parents are always complaining because their kids are involved in every single sport possible? It's something that you don't have to do it. Now, if you choose to do it, like, I'm not looking down on you. I have a friend, her name's Kelly. She's got 2 kids. Her kids are in so many dang sports. And you know what? They thrive in the sports. The parents are active with them all the time. Both parents work, by the way. These kids are public school. They're not homeschool. But they do stuff with them all the time. Like, they don't use sports as a babysitter. They're there at every game and every practice. And I see pictures. And I think, first off, dang, like, that's a big commitment. But she posted an article about why she has her kids do sports. And something to the effect of, like, I know they're probably not going to be in the Olympics. And I'm sure she doesn't, like, not believe in her kids if they want to go to the Olympics, you know. But most of the time, as, like, a kindergarten, first, second grade mom, you're not thinking that. But she wants them to learn good sportsmanship and how to play as a team and just, like, all these different characteristics that are really good for kids to learn. Like, she has me convinced to get my kid in one sport. I probably just do one a year. I don't want, again, going back to my priorities, if I'm involved in sports every single season, how much freedom do we have as a family? Because we are tied to that sports schedule. So going back to my priorities, that wouldn't be smart for me to do. It wouldn't be aligned with the mission statement that we have for our family. But I do like all those characteristics that my daughter could be learning by playing organized sports. Does that make sense? Like, they're not bad, but if you're somebody who can't handle them, or maybe you have 4, 5, 6 kids, and putting all the time in sports would mean they're struggling with their schoolwork. You understand what I'm saying? Like, whatever your priorities are. Now, if your priority is for your kid to go be an Olympic athlete, maybe you need to be in every single sport. I don't know. But I just thought it was really awesome to simplify. So the first one is prioritize. The second one is simplify. And guys, remember, if you would like to get access to that homeschool summit, lots of parenting advice, lots of real amazing content, get in my inbox. I'll send you the link. It's 100% free. Yes, family mission statement. It's kind of goes back to your core values. Like, every decision that you make, you would go back to your mission statement. It's kind of like a list of goals and priorities, I guess. The easiest thing I can tell you, Josie, is go Google what's a family mission statement, or go check out the book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Lots and lots of really good information. Hey, Yesenia. So the third thing is integrate. Now, drop me down to 3. And again, I have been here, guys. I have been at every one of these points. Drop me down to 3 if you've ever felt guilty about not completing your list of things that you had to get done for school that day. Or if you're in the business, maybe the list of things you had to get done in the business. Because this is another one that very much is applicable for homeschooling and the business at the same time. When I say business, y'all don't think I'm crazy. Like, a group of us, we advertise on social media. That's how we pay for homeschooling and pay for lots of other things with our families. So that's what I mean when I say business. We just do some advertising stuff. Absolutely. Okay, so if you have ever felt guilty about not completing your list of things that you had to get done that day for the business or had to get done that day for work, drop me down to 3. I have been there. And she talks about you should be integrating school around your life, not life around your school. And it would be the same thing with the business, guys. Your business should be revolving around your life. Your life should not be revolving around your business. So this is something that one reason that we chose to do year-round homeschooling, because I can take off and take her camping. Okay, I can take off, and first off, we're in Indiana. It is balls hot in the summer. I don't care to go do anything when it's like 100 degrees. I will stay in my house with the air conditioner and I will do school on a Saturday. Because in a Saturday in the fall when it's like, or not even a Saturday, like this past week, a 5-day little stretch in the fall where it's nice and pretty and I want to go, sit by the lake for a week, I can do that because we made up some school in the summer or we're going to do school in the summer. Like, don't get so rigid with thinking you got to do 5 days a week and 4 hours a day or 5 hours a day or whatever. Like, part of making school fun for these kids is getting to do so many fun, amazing things. Now, that's not to say that all, your whole schooling should be fun, because if every single day is a party, you're probably not teaching everything that you should be teaching to your kid. But, and there are ways around that. Like, we have a lot of fun in our homeschool. I'm not even going to lie. We do like different parties and stuff. But one thing that I do is I do have her enrolled in the Bible club every single week. We go every Wednesday night to this Bible club. I don't have her book, but she memorizes verses and she gets like a Bible class with other kids. And again, it is competitive. So it's something that she is learning how to thrive. She's learning the teamwork, kind of like sports. I probably wouldn't say to the degree with certain things, but they do a team game every night. And they do the Bible memory. They do a worksheet. Like, she learns how to sit and interact in a class with other kids where it's not just mom telling her that she needs to do certain things. She's learning how to obey other adults. She's learning how to interact with other kids. So I would highly suggest something like that. It could be like a mom's group that like meets and has a play date, but something that's relatively organized that you can just kind of teach some of those characteristics. But anyways, all that to say, and we still have the freedom. Like, I made sure I was okay with if we needed to miss one night and do something, like, I wasn't going to freak me out, because we were not going to be tied to that Bible club schedule. That was going to be something that we chose to implement for our family, not something that we're going to like break our back to make sure we were there every week. Hey guys. Yes, character building, in my opinion, is just as important as the education part. Like, again, some people might disagree, but that's okay. Okay, and the very last thing, this is probably my favorite, and I'm going to show you a couple tips that I use with my planner for this, because a lot of you guys have asked for different things, so this is like a perfect opportunity to show you. Is how many of you feel like schedules don't work for you? Drop me down to 4. You've tried scheduling, they just frustrate you, you feel like you never get it all done. Like, how many of you just feel like schedules don't work? And you can be honest. Like, I know all y'all following me, you know I am so hardcore about scheduling, but I realized when she was speaking this morning why it works for me, and that's what I'm going to kind of show you guys, because I am very flexible with it. So, this is something, or maybe you feel like a schedule works for you, but you have ever wondered, like, should I use a curriculum or should I not use a curriculum? So, drop me down to 4 if you have ever wondered any of those things. The big thing, like a big heated debate when I started homeschooling, was unschooling versus curriculum users. And I read up on both of these. I am pretty anti-unschooling. I'm not going to lie to you guys. Or at least, okay, I was anti-unschooling. I feel like there's a lot of people that definitely take it to the extreme where their kids legitimately, like, if they don't want to learn it, they don't learn it. But I feel like most unschoolers have some degree of structure in their home. Oh, and that's this point. This point is structure versus schedule. So I'm going to show you why scheduling is bad, structuring is good. But I have found and I was going to be like a super curriculum mom because that's my personality. When I started homeschooling, I realized real quick what child-led learning was. And again, this isn't something that gives me an excuse to be lazy and not plan out my week. This is something that forces me to be flexible enough to let her learn things that she brings up that maybe was not in the curriculum, that's going to take us a step out for a couple of days, and then we'll rein it back in. So, for example, I've just going through and talking to different people. Okay, Josie, I'm glad, because I'm going to tell you, you need to do both. You need to be right in that middle. That is the very best. Like, I've talked to so many homeschool moms, a good mixture of hardcore unschoolers, hard school curriculum users, and then a very good mixture of people that do both. The very best families are the ones that do both. The ones that they have a curriculum and they set it up and they use it, but if the child shows an interest in something that maybe is brought on by that curriculum, the mom is, or the dad, but most of the people that I deal with are moms. that do homeschooling, the mom is not so rigid that she squashes that idea and doesn't let them explore it. So I'm going to give you my very first experience with this. I remember like it was yesterday because I kind of had the aha moment. We were sitting and doing phonics, and for whatever reason, there was a picture, that's what it was. We're sitting and doing phonics and talking about different sounds. There was a picture of a cow, a cat, and a moose. And when you got to the cow, it said, what sound does the cow make? What sound does the cat make? And then we got to the moose, and I was like, I don't know what sound a moose makes. Like, public school clearly failed me because that's like in my kindergartner's workbook, and I don't freaking know. So we went to YouTube, and we found a little 30-second clip of what a moose makes. It is not cute, by the way. Mooses? Is it mooses? I don't even know. We haven't got to that unit yet, guys. I'm learning right along with my kid. Clearly, I am not the brightest crayon in the box. Mooses, I think. I don't know. A group of moose. We're going to say that because it makes me sound smarter. They are like super ugly sounding. Like really ugly. So, after the YouTube video played, another one popped up about what sounds do different animals make. And it was a picture of a raccoon. My daughter can't read, so she just saw the picture of the raccoon. She goes, Mom, what does a raccoon say? So the video was literally like different sounds. We watched an hour of YouTube videos about, is it just moose? Like I said, clearly there are a few things that I do not know. An hour of what different animal sounds are because my daughter wanted to learn and she was like so excited about it. You know what? I was panicking because I know that was putting us an hour behind on our schedule. But I knew just from, I read books like all the time because I know that if I want to be the very best teacher that I possibly can be to my kid and to the other kids that I teach voluntarily, that I need to always be learning. Oh, okay. Apparently moose is singular and plural. I knew some of the words were, but moose, first off, I grew up in New Mexico. I don't need to know the word moose because I never seen one of them. My husband grew up in Maine. I guarantee he could tell me if moose was plural or singular or whatever. But anyways, so we watched an hour because she wanted to. Now, and then we got back into our regular curriculum and we just ended at the regular time. What we had on the list that we missed, we just rolled it over to the next day, and I'm going to talk to you about that in just a second. Last week, we do Movie Monday Madness. So Monday's our day off, usually, unless, usually Monday's the day off that, like, we're a ministry family, so that's, like, my catch-up day. That's my resting day. That's my day when I really don't want to sit down and, like, plow through a phonics lesson. I'm just being honest. My daughter gets no screen time except on Monday. Monday, she gets to watch a few movies. She calls it her sit back and relax day. I don't know why my 5-year-old needs to sit back and relax because she does not work. She literally will, like, this is her Mondays. She doesn't like staying in pajamas. She likes to, she's a little frilly girl. But she will get, like, her footstool or an ice chest or something, sit it in front of the couch, pop her feet up, pop her hands back, like, this is my relax day, Mom. It's my Monday. And I'm like, child, you do not need to be relaxing that hard. Like, calm down. But she just acts like she has had, like, the most stressful week in the world, and she gotta, like, be relaxing on her Monday. So, I'm sitting out in the garage because I like to be outside, but I don't like to be, like, with the elements right on top of my head. So, I have a table set up in my garage. It probably looks pretty ghetto when you walk by. I have an office. I just don't use it because I like to be outside. But it's for tax write-offs. So I have an office. If you're watching this IRS, it is back there. It is not used for anything else. It's just an office that's probably not used at all. I'm sitting outside doing some work. She runs to the door. She goes, Mom, do you have a box? I was like, we have, like, game boxes. What do you need it for? Okay, she grabs a box, runs inside, grabs a glue stick. So I'm like, no, what are you doing? Like, that's a good game box? She goes, Mom, I'm going to make a shadow box because Dora Explorer made a shadow box. And I don't even know what a dang shadow box is. So I told her, I know it's some kind of crafty thing, but I don't know how to make one. So I told her, I was like, in a couple weeks, because we don't have the supplies. If we had the supplies, I would have let her make one. But we don't have boxes. Like, we don't have pictures because all of the pictures are on a phone. So that's on my list. I keep a list in my binder of things that she is showing interest in. that when I make my next homeschool schedule, I usually make them about 10 days at a time. We're going to include those things. I'm telling you I'm making a list, and now I can't find the list because, okay. So, and some things that pop up with me. So I have a shadow box on here. We're going to be making that soon. It has nothing to do with our curriculum, but that's okay because she is showing an interest. So we're going to step outside of the curriculum and we're going to make a shadow box. We're going to do a diversity board because that's something that came across me in one of my emails from another teacher friend. And I just think that's something that is really good to do. We're going to do what's called mindful brain breaks. Oh my gosh, I cannot say that. Thank you. It's a Happy Planner Teacher Edition planner. And then I'm going to look up and do a week's worth of lessons on salvation during our devotion time because she is like right on the cusp of getting saved. She's still asking questions. She's to the point where I could probably push her and like make her pray, but that's not the point of salvation. But what I do want to do is make it fun and like do a lesson series because again, I went to school to teach. Like I love teaching. I have no problem making up lessons myself. So we're going to replace our devotions with a series on salvation. And we're just going to have fun with it. And it's going to kind of prompt her to ask even more questions. So I'm going to show you how I do this when it comes to structure versus schedule. So I have a planner and you can see both sides. This is 1 week's worth of lessons. So up at the top, I have the order that we do them in every day, which is devotions, phonics, math, just kidding, this side first. Doodling and writing. I can't read backwards very well. Science, geography, and history. What we do with these, like one day we'll do doodling, one day we do writing. With this, every day we do a science page. It's usually coloring and like a couple questions. And then every other day we'll do geography or history. This one is Look Inside, which is an anatomy book, and a science experiment. So every other day we'll do an anatomy lesson. Every other day we'll do an experiment. And then every day we do Spanish. And what I do is I write down, you can see Monday through Friday. My dates are wrong because I didn't want to throw this page away. So just nobody get OCD on me. I'm OCD and I'm dealing with it. As we do the lesson, we just cross out with a pencil. If I don't get to everything that day, that's okay. I just know where I'm going to start tomorrow. Now, every day we do start with devotions, phonics, math. So if we don't get to science or history or something, that's okay. That's the first thing we'll do the next day after phonics, devotions, phonics, math. Those are the 3 things I make sure to get done every day. Everything else is supplemental. And when I say every day, we do about 4 days of school a week. That means if I finish my lesson plans, right now it's Wednesday and I'm on track to finish this tomorrow. She's had a really good week. She really wanted to work a lot, so we've done a lot of extra school. If I finish this tomorrow, I'll make a new one. I don't care that it says Monday if I'm going to start on Friday because this is just how the lesson plans come. And I don't have time to make up a new, like on the computer, a new weekly lesson plan starting with whatever day I'm actually starting with. So I'm probably not going to stay on track anyways. So that is how I do my lesson planning. So that way, I know a lot of you guys have asked like, oh, how do you stay so organized? I do stay very organized, but I think what you're asking is how do you get it all done? And I don't get it all done. I just am very flexible with myself. Now, I do the same thing with my daily schedules. So every week I make up one of these. This is Monday through Sunday. And I write down my schedule every single day. Now, I do it in the morning. If you have not watched my mock schedule Facebook, I'm going to link it down here when I'm done. I would highly suggest watching it. It explains how I do this. This is today's schedule. Everything's written in. Usually for each task, I give myself about 15 minutes more than what I think it's actually going to take. That allows for kids asking extra questions, or maybe my husband wakes up and wants me to get him a snack, or I don't even know, like just random stuff. But if I don't get it all done, that's okay. I roll it over to the next day. I can tell you the last 3 days I've had that I need to put my laundry away. You know how often it's gotten done? Not in the last 3 days. So I just keep rolling it over. It's scheduled for 11:30 tonight. If I am too tired at 11:30, I will move it to Thursday. And then, like, my mom called me today. I spent 2 hours on the phone with her that I hadn't planned. Now, some of the stuff on here I could still do while I'm talking to my mom. And I did. But some things I couldn't, so I'm just going to push them back. So it really is, get a schedule. You will push yourself to do be the most productive that you possibly can be if you have a schedule written out. But you don't want to push yourself so hard that at the end of the day, you're super stressed because you didn't get everything done, because you're never going to get everything done. If you get everything done every single day, you're not being as productive as you could be. So that is the wisdom that I got from this chick that I don't even know her name, but, she's very smart. I'm very bad at remembering names. So absolutely amazing. And again, this was a homeschool summit from a couple years ago. I was just listening to the replays. If you want to get in on this year's homeschool summit, make sure you're in my inbox. I will send you the link. So I hope that some of these tips and tricks help some of you guys, and I will talk to you later.